Studio, and this is TV3. This is Newday. A very good morning out to you there. I'm sure you're wondering how the studio looks like. It has three solid corners. I'm sure you can see. Good morning to you out there. Wonderful Tuesday morning, and that's how we do it every week from Monday to Friday. Newday is on. Johnny is here. Yes. Amma is also here. Purple. Purple. That's a color. Purple.
Yeah, exactly. It's one. It's very close to each other.
Okay.
It's very episcopal.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's also it has a bit of a feminine touch. But this month, anyway, we're celebrating a pink October.
I think I got to the switch from before. I got to know that it was also called purple because we're saying violet.
Violet, yes. Violet.
Yeah.
Well, technically, you'd be right if you said this was violet as against purple. It's a bit darker because purple would have a little shade, a tint of it. Yes.
So the two are different. Violet, purple.
Yes. One is a tint, one has a hue. So
but you see,
if you go down, you have to go back to school and do colors.
But you see,
and you understand exactly what goes into it.
But if you dilute what you're wearing with a bit of water, you get this one.
Something
that's pink.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't get this. You'd get purple. If you add a bit of white to this, you'd get purple.
No, I'm adding
and if
water,
you add
not
more,
white. I'm not adding
Johnny, behave. Anyway, so it's Pink October month. We're celebrating, and creating awareness about breast cancer. And there'll be a lot of that on this platform throughout this month. So you don't want to miss it. Make sure you're tuned here. We'll have survivors. We'll have doctors coming to explain to you why you need to go for that screening. And men, come on board. Send that girlfriend, send that side chick, send the wife, send your friends, your mother, your aunties to go and get themselves checked.
The first two persons you mentioned.
They're very critical in your life.
Yeah, no, not my life.
In the mill.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody is looking at it like, where did she get her information from?
Oh, we all know. We know. By default, we know they are there.
Girlfriend and side chick.
Yeah.
Wow. Before you went to wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am interested in the chronology.
Who comes first?
Who comes first?
Wife must come first, but oftentimes now the side chicks have made it such that the wife will get the ring. They are just there. They are fine.
They won't struggle for
you.
They won't struggle for space.
But God has seen you. You will answer on Judgment Day.
It is only the spirit that has revealed this to you.
Oh yes, it is not flesh and blood.
Anyway.
All right, October is a month. The key thing to do is to ensure that any woman around you gets tested. Is it screened? Or maybe do the test yourself. Yes, because creating that awareness is key to helping them to survive. Breast cancer is killing many. Our job is to get you to be part of it. The month of October specifically set aside to get you to help support our women deal with breast cancer. We're told that early detection is key to saving several of them who are dying needlessly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Breast Cancer Month.
And this test, or if you like screening, is not for pleasure. So
no, it's not.
I don't.
Sometimes people get the wrong impression.
You go and get into a corner and somebody is all over you and you say you are screening. You are not screening.
No.
You are having pleasure against your father and your mother's will.
Exactly.
So if you want to screen properly. And this is the month where you free the tartars, right?
Yes.
We would want to see an actualization of the free movement of the tartar. Grace will come and ask her that. Last year,
being responsible when it comes to helping us screen, we'll give you that as a bonus.
You people were here announcing the day before, free the tartars, free. Then we were supporting you. Then come the day, everybody was trapped.
You didn't ask the caveat. You didn't ask what the caveat was because we said free the tartars, but we knew it was going to be behind the scenes. It's not going to be up front for the whole Ghana to see.
So those who were doing it publicly, what was their fault?
That's their personal thing, Johnny. How would you feel
if
your wife in the morning goes out there and frees her tatters?
It's okay. I'm a public figure. If my wife is a wife of a public figure, it's okay.
Okay, I hope she's here. That's extremely generous.
God.
May God bless you.
I've been
for sharing.
The conversation. Okay, Tuesday morning.
You hear from her today.
We're getting into the week. The show certainly one that will excite you.
Yesterday was Funny Face's birthday, so happy birthday to you. She shared the birthday with TV3 21. So Funny Face, happy birthday to you.
I've been trying to win the heart of a lady, and she's calling me when she's seen me on TV. Can you do that?
Oh, really?
No, why she's calling you means that she recognizes who you
are. No, you see,
she's agreed.
No. I don't
want to on TV.
Right. I don't think you should trust this lady because if you get off TV,
she won't call.
She loses the love for you. As soon as she sees you on TV, she gets that. There's a problem there.
What if she has elections?
Grace, how are you?
I'm good, Johnny. Yourself?
We're celebrating Pink Month.
Yes.
Are you gonna free there?
There's time for everything. When the time is due, I will.
We'll be reminding you.
She doesn't need a reminder. I doubt.
Grace should give me the chance to help her do this.
How difficult
You want them to use your hand to do the screening?
Well, I won't mind.
Okay.
And I won't charge any fee for it.
All right.
I want that.
It's just the same way.
You know, you finish doing the screening, you ask him, what did you feel? And be like, let me do it again. And we keep going
and in just the same way, we're reminding the Honorable Boniface Abubakar Siddiq that he promised us that the contractor will move onto the site at Adenta in October. Today is 2nd October.
2 days gone.
We are watching. Honorable, good morning to you. And good morning to Honorable Amwakwata, the Roads Ministry. We are watching. Yes. When is the contractor going on to site? Because yesterday,
October.
the flats, but today is 2nd October.
Yeah, so October. Yeah.
I hope they don't get on site on 29th October.
No.
Okay.
October.
So, good morning to you. Good morning. Great.
Good morning. Welcome to the news on New Day. My name is Grace Hamwasari. Let's take a look at the headlines. Coming up in this bulletin, government is to complete the review of the National Cybersecurity Policy document in December. Another NDC flag bearer hopeful, Guzitano, has denied having conspired to scuttle the chances of former President John Dramani Mahama. Also, the process to select a suitable partner for a home-based national airline could be completed by the end of the year. And U.S. First Lady Melania Trump departs for Africa on Monday for a 4-country trip. Now, government is to complete the review of the National Cybersecurity Policy document in December. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, made this known at the launch of the Cybersecurity and Data Protection Systems Month in Accra.
More than $600,000 was spent globally to deal with cybercrime last year. The figure is expected to increase, which the Vice President said could further mar the fight against cybercrime and data protection. The National Cybersecurity Document to meet global trends is being reviewed.
To encourage strong links between the universities and industry to ensure our young cybersecurity experts are battle ready. The Safer Digital Ghana campaign has been developed to respond to the increasing spate of cyber crimes and cybersecurity breaches, which would potentially undermine the gains from Ghana's digitization agenda.
Currently, figures from the Ministry of Communications indicate that 7% of the youth are active on mobile phones and the internet. The Communications Minister, Eselowusu Ekufo, spoke about new initiatives to prevent cybercrime.
Insecure emails which are used for official work. All these are examples of unhygienic cyber practices which we indulge in unwittingly, and they need to be addressed as a matter of urgency because they expose the entire national digital architecture to danger.
The theme for the celebration is Save Digital Ghana.
Staying around security, the Deputy Commissioner for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Richard Kwesing, has challenged the security agencies to develop improved methods in effecting arrest to ensure the dignity of offenders are protected. He was speaking at a forum in Accra.
Despite the country's laws, there are still gaps in effecting the arrest of persons by the police.
Yes, we have done some good things. If you compare our practices today to the pre-Fourth Republic era, where people could be detained for several days without access to court. Sometimes people were brutalized in the course of arrest. Sometimes people were tortured. Now you can see that we have made some substantial progress in this area.
At a joint training forum for senior police and prison officers, participants were updated on the Luanda guidelines, which comprise a right-based approach of arrest, police custody and pre-trial detention. It is to guide and support members of states of the African Union to effectively implement their commitment and obligations to combat several violence and arrest. Various speakers at the forum called for a national plan.
Politics, where another NDC flag bearer hopeful Guzi Tano has denied that 5 of the aspirants, including himself, have conspired to scuttle the chances of former President John Dramani Mahama in the party's presidential primaries. He spoke on Sunrise on 3FM.
It's a clearinghouse to ensure that the election is clean, no abuse, no attacks, no intimidation, and so on, and also to look at some of the proposed constitutional amendments and so on and so forth coming to the Congress. There's no conspiracy about that. Any conspiracy would not be taking pictures. That's it.
Information indicates that the 5 presidential hopefuls are thinking of presenting one candidate to prevent the former president from being elected to lead the party.
But are you 5 plotting to make sure Mahama doesn't win so that one of you wins? That's what the story says.
Well, the story is misconceived. What we're trying to do is to ensure, 1, that there is a level playing field. 2, that the campaign is conducted in a cordial and civil manner. 3, that there may be pertinent issues relating to the upcoming Congress that we must all address. The constitution of the committees, the constitutional amendments that have been proposed, and so on and so forth. Look, in politics, people engage each other, throw up ideas. I understand, for instance, the Mahama camp has promised vice presidential candidate to about 9 different people. That's
really?
That's the rumor I've heard. All right?
Including you?
No, I don't think he'll ever offer it to me.
In 1999, Guzi Tano broke away from the ruling NDC, citing issues of corruption. He founded the National Reform Party, NRP, and ran the following year on the NRP ticket. He returned to NDC with his colleagues in the Reform Party at the behest and upon several appeals made by the late President John Atta Mills in 2008.
The Tema police has gunned down 2 robbers and arrested 2 in a shootout at the Tema industrial area. The alleged robbers stormed a UT warehouse on a robbery spree. According to the police, they had a tip-off that robbers had besieged the UT warehouse. Upon arrival, the police engaged them in a shootout, which led to the killing of 2. 2 were later arrested by the police. Tema Regional Police Public Relations Officer ASP Joseph Benefo Dakwa said the 2 would help the police with investigations. Now, commissioning of the new built Terminal 3 will not come off. Sources at the Ghana airport have told TV3. Reports are that the Aviation Ministry has indicated not much consultation has been done. A visit to the airport has shown no preparations for the official opening, despite its much publicity.
The much anticipated opening of the Terminal 3 of the Kotoka International Airport, scheduled to happen on Tuesday, the 2nd of October, will not come on because signals we pick at the airport indicates that the Minister of Aviation has called it off because not enough consultations has been done before the intention to open the airport. It is, however, unclear when the airport will be opening. Komla Kluchem, TV3 News, T3, Kotoka International Airport, Accra.
Now, still in the airports, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has denied reports of flooding at the newly built Terminal 3. Social media was awash with reports of flooding at the T3 on Monday after several hours of heavy downpour. The news team was given access to the terminal and the tarmac for an assessment of the downpour at the terminal. Komla Kluche has more.
I've not seen anything like flood or whatever I was called for. So it looks like, I don't know whether it's a panic call or whatever, I don't know. But we had the distress call and the Deputy Director General asked me to attend the distress call. And when I came, there was nothing like that. We didn't see anything. So I don't know what's actually going on.
But you work at NADMO. Have you had an instance where, for instance, not even at this new side, at the old side, have we had instances where maybe it has rained and then there was rain on the tarmac for some time, which, so to speak, was regarded as flooding?
Oh, not at all. We've not had any. So when we heard of this, we thought it was, we said, how? Airport? But that is it. We were asked to come, so we came to assess the situation. So there's nothing like that. We've not ever heard of airport being flooded.
What sort of assessment have you done to come to the conclusion that there was no flood whatsoever?
So far, I was not given access to come this area, but where I've been have access to, I've not seen anything like flood. So that's what I'm concluding.
Major flights have just arrived. For instance, the British Airways has just arrived there here at the Kotoka International Airport, new Terminal 3, Monday evening. What we heard in the media, or specifically on social media, was about the airport or the terminal being flooded. We have gone round, we haven't seen much of it. The Ghana Airports Company has denied reports that the T3 has been flooded. What it explains is that it is standard, it is normal that at the newly constructed airport, when it rains, because it's a fully paved area on the tarmac, you will find part of the tarmac with surface runoff. That takes some time, but just after some period, you would see that the water in itself would move gradually and enter into the drains. This, according to them, does not take more than 30 minutes.
Let's go on the international front. And U.S. First Lady Melania Trump departed for Africa on Monday for a 4-country trip that serves as her first major solo sojourn abroad on behalf of her husband, President Donald Trump's administration. Mrs. Trump is scheduled to make stops in Ghana, Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt in a nearly week-long trip to focus on children's issues. She's expected in Accra today, Tuesday. President Trump has not visited Africa since entering office in 2017, but he has garnered a sharp criticism for reportedly referring to immigrants from African countries with a derogatory term. That's all for the news on Newday. My name is Grace Hamwa. Sorry, Newday is back after this break. Don't go away.
Welcome back, and let's look at the front pages. The Ghanaian Times starts us off. It says, Cocoa Board maintains producer price of cocoa for 2018-2019 season. Mr. Joseph Boateng there, Boateng, the CEO of Cocoa Board's photo, comes along with that. Veep launches national cyber security campaign, and Tama police kill 2 suspected armed robbers. Chief, 5 others arrested for breaching ban on celebration of Kundum Festival. You know, there were some clashes there in the Western region. The Daily Guide says groom dies in gory crash. Bride in coma. Driver defiles girl 3. And Baumia launches cybersecurity initiative. CK Services open new station at Fawade, and 22 students arrested over riots. Plus, banner headline, Kojo Bonsu dumps Mahama, joins NDC race. This was the talk of town yesterday. It comes with a photo of Prosper Bani, former chief of staff, Kojo Bonsu, former mayor of the Kumasi, and President John Mahama. Interesting that President Mahama's appointees are deciding to contest him. Well, the Daily Graphic, Samira wins Excellence Awards, and Graphic is 68 years old. Hooray! Government maintains producer price of cocoa. We have strong local banks. Ishmael Yamsing cries out. We have strong local banks. Today, newspaper says resource Amidu. Now, the Ghana Integrity Initiative charges the president, and open defecation source in schools. Why? Mahama replies Akufo-Addo, reviewing free SHS policy. The conversation is already started. Should it be progressive or instantaneously free? What is it? The Daily Statement. Melania Trump arrives today. Mahama spent $270 million to build terminal with no drainage. Is that the case? Well, confused over 2016 defeat. Interesting. The BNFT says Fidelity is CIMG Bank of the Year. UT Capital Bank collapse. 5 dockets sent to AG's office. And informal sector's contribution to economy hits 73 billion Ghana cedis, and that is 28.6% of the GDP. Education could be one of our main exports. Academic City President Professor Mark Bagalori there. Okay. So yeah, yesterday they talk about whether or not the T3 was flooded. I mean, initially the footage that came showed that water was sitting somewhere. But the experts are explaining that, well, it takes time and then it will go into the drains, which Komla Kluche showed. But beyond the politics of it, whether somebody wants to score political points or somebody wants to imprint in the minds of the people that had a legacy before they left office, whichever way it is, I think that we should look at the central issue. The central issue is, whose standard is it that when it rains, we'll have water sitting somewhere for some time before it goes away? I'm asking this because yesterday I had people comparing that, even at Heathrow Airport, JFK, we have these things happening. Now, if you're looking at those airports which were constructed many years ago using old technology, I don't know if they have renovations to talk about new technology, but this was constructed not long ago. Right. So it's new technology. Did we factor in new technology to suggest that, well, that's the question I'm asking, that whose standard is it that when water pours down, it should sit on the tarmac for some time before it goes? And by the way, the T3 constitutes, the tarmac constitutes a portion of the T3. So when somebody says the T3 is flooded, perhaps it doesn't mean that the arrival hall or whichever it is flooded. You see, Johnny, I know I'm just playing the devil's advocate and asking these questions.
I think that, you see, this country, as we get told at certain periods, we're trying to build a nation state. I think we should move beyond these things. The statesman headline, I mean, what does it mean? If Mahama built a T3 without a drainage, what is the next government supposed to do? Fix the drainage. Okay, if there was water there, what do? We just have to fix it. The key thing is that it is not the arrival that was flooded. It's the tarmac. The question you're asking perhaps would need to be answered by people who have the knowledge. Right. But as far as I know, I mean, even if it rains heavily, depending on how much rain you have, no matter the drainage system you have, you can have some water sitting wherever it is for some time before it goes away. Right. Okay? So this issue about whether, look, the key thing is this. If indeed, even if the arrival was flooded, it means that someone did a shoddy job. Right. If we can compel that person to come and answer for it, let us compel that. That's
what I'm talking about. That
if not, then let us stop
beyond the politics of it.
Concept party thing, because you see, about somebody spending this amount of money to build something. If it was spent and it was not done well, and we can compel someone to answer for it, let us do it. Other than that, if it was done and the drainage was not done, let us fix it.
Agreed. You see, that's
what I'm saying. His
report
for me showed us some drains.
Exactly.
And so the point is, I mean, both of you seem to be at the same point, which I agree, in the sense that the bigger picture is there was some water stagnant there for a while. Is this the way it's supposed to be? If not, certainly it's a new place. So these are some of the tests it will be put through. So let's make sure we correct it. It doesn't happen again if that's not the way it's supposed to be. If that's the way it's supposed to be, then let's make sure if there's another rain, it won't spoil anything on that tarmac, it won't spoil anything on the T3. Because my worry is the fact that we put money into it. And so if we watch it and make it politics and someone doesn't take the blame and it goes back and forth, we're going to spend that money fixing things. And we certainly don't want that because we don't even have the money. So let's just make sure it's sorted and then it comes to it. We never are. They always throw it.
See, when the images started coming up and we started putting them out, then people started reading meaning into it and saying that President Mahama did a shoddy job and that so then the question I ask myself
and if you have to compare people to answer, let them come and answer
if we will come up and say President Mahama did a shoddy job, does it score anybody political points?
No.
Let me tell you something. If you remember, a year ago when the new government took office, the Circle interchange was flooded. And there was so much noise about spending huge sums of money to fix it, and yet it rained and it was flooded. The next rainy season, the place was flooded. Again. So does it make sense to complain if you can't fix it?
No.
But you see,
if someone did a shoddy job and you can compel the person to answer for it, let the person come and answer. Else, fix it.
But you see, in the case of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, I remember the very first year it rained, it flooded.
Yes.
The second year, the water was not as high. The levels was
nothing has changed there.
No, but right now, if it rains, you don't feel that impact.
Johnny,
the impact when the Navy and the NADMO had to bring their boats to come and rescue people.
No, not the Odo. I am talking about the interchange where the old bridge crosses the new one. There's a particular section there, that filling station there. Anytime it rains, the whole road is taken over by water. 2 years it happened. We complained. Some even said that the previous government did shoddy job. The next year it happened. In fact, in June, when it rained and we were coming to work, you couldn't use the road because plastics had virtually taken over the road. So what is sense in complaining and not fixing it? What's the sense in it?
But you see, again,
I'm saying that if you can compare whoever did it to come and answer because he or she did a shoddy job, let us get the person and surcharge him or her. If not, let us fix the problem.
But then it goes beyond the residual methods of solving the problem. I think that while the construction was ongoing, somebody had the duty of care to insist that the right things were done.
So,
did the supervisor stay on the site to ensure that we were getting value
so we have finished. We have finished.
And we're seeing the
now we have seen the problem. If per the contract, the person did shoddy job, and I'm saying that we can compel the person to answer. Let us get the person to answer.
That. I'm saying that, look, you said earlier that we're trying to build a state.
Yes.
I'm saying that subsequently, if we give a contract to somebody, we must insist that the supervision is
there. But Johnny, this won't be the first time we're having to say such a thing concerning these issues. But it's always like that. People will finish a contract and we'll talk about it.
Mamobi sent me a video of the Alhamdu Gata that we spoke about, the slums in the city documentary. And you could see the extent of damage and the danger that they had to contend with. And it was all over. Carnation Market was on this own level
do you know why it is happening?
No, you tell me.
Okay, let me tell you. If you use the how do you call it? The Gang of Four Road, the one from let's say Tesano all the way to Pukwase. Right. That road has a drainage underground.
Okay.
Do you know what is happening now? No. All the metals covering the drains had been removed. Now, the women who sweep, do you know what they do?
No.
When they sweep and they watch left and right and there's no one there, then they sweep into the drain.
Oh.
And I have seen it myself. Right from Tesano all the way to the end of that road around Ofanko, the drain is under the road. The metals have been stolen, so people are dropping and sweeping. So what happens is that when it rains, it gets choked and it comes all the way to the Mamubi areas.
So then the problem is that, look, our city authorities, and I'm not just talking about AMA, our local assemblies, they all go to work and close at 5 p.m. and go to sleep.
Yeah.
But no proper manager anywhere on the face of this earth who knows that, look, people are liable. Yesterday we were talking about stealing rubbish bins.
Yeah.
No proper
and
manager goes to sleep. Yes.
I hear those who are
the scraps boys.
The scrap boys.
So
you're only talking because people will constantly do it because no one will punish them. I mean, it's the norm in Ghana now. Get away with it because who's looking? Who cares?
Can we get Honorable Cecilia Dapa to say a good morning to her? Honorable Cecilia Dapa, good morning to you, Minister for Water and Sanitation. I'm sure yesterday you went around, you saw the extent of the flooding, you saw the extent of the damages, and just about last week, we lost 30 people in Tamale. So this is what is happening. I'm just saying good morning to you, that's all. Good morning.
Okay.
Well, we hear the presidential jet had some issues when he had to leave Washington, D.C. to Accra when the president visited. Why are you laughing?
I think it's just a reminder that we need a new plane. That we're being told that we need a new plane. It's a reminder.
Maybe it's just maintenance, really. We just have to find out what exactly the issue is.
Because if the plane has 3 engines, okay, and one goes off, it got here anyway.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that now that we're being told, and Kojo Ponkruma says that government has no intention of buying, he decided alone that government has no intention.
That's what I'm saying. It probably just needs maintenance. They realize it's a maintenance issue, not a new purchase.
Maybe we are being reminded that we need to buy a new plane so that this one can be used for a job.
Today, the finder is off the newsstands.
Yes.
We were told they had
technical
yesterday. Elvis, good
morning.
Elvis
Daku, good morning to you.
But anyway,
what happened?
We pray that you will come out of this.
The machines will recover.
Yeah, Archbishop Duncan Williams said we should pray.
Oh, yeah.
3 days fasting.
And Johnny, this is not new. Yeah. If you remember, under
to hold the
former
city,
President
Muhammad,
Dr. Lawrence Tete and co were in Accra and praying for this same economic crisis.
I remember Archbishop Duncan Williams praying that the city will arrest the city, the dollar. You know, I remember.
Anyway, guys, it's time for us to run. Let's step out and find out what.
Okay, so
I do. Is there a question or a statement?
Johnny, I think we should try this.
Yeah.
Okay. The Christians arrested the city. It escaped.
Should we use the Muslims now?
But Dr. Bomi arrested the city and he escaped too.
Okay, so let's use the traditionalists.
I think so.
Let's use the traditionalists. But if you have not built them a cathedral and mosque, they don't have a place of worship. Where would they converge to meet?
Where they always
as
meet.
for them, they can find somewhere in the forest.
Are you serious?
In the forest.
Are you serious about that?
They are grateful to you. Anyway, guys, let's write and find out what your take is on the presidential jet catching fire and whether we need maintenance or new purchase.
Ghana's presidential jet has once again suffered a mid-air crisis. Fortunately, what could have been a national disaster has been averted. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his officials that went to the United States of America are home safe and dry. But for how long can we be lucky with the presidential jet Falcon 900? It will be recalled that similar mid-air crises have been recorded in the past. This morning on Daily Round, we want to find out whether the presidential jet should be changed, even though Information Minister Designate Kojo Opon Nkrumah says that is not on the cut of President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. This is your Daily Round. Let's keep talking.
For me, priorities first. The government, officer, Eda society, or no government, and I say abandon the Eda society. And spending a lot of money to go for presidential jet for luxury. Abra ayena ankasa ayete hesu ye aye complain de Ghana eh ayedin kakrante say yenyanyama bia obia no ho baton no mengin de the government is wrong by saying there or ni na agunu sisi there then auto eh friends presidential jet into for now the president no onto no say ebia say be use a commercial get mpo ye that kwana akwa bampo until there you certain name there was ka wan same betumi ato friends and presidential jet. Nothing stop us from buying a new one if we have enough money there. But for now, I believe we still have challenges on our hand that we need to solve first. So the priority of the government is different from what people are thinking.
Ghana food now style of MPP for what do you want to man yourself? Or your agenda to buy a new presidential jet. Now what shall I say? It's a grand scheme. We'll lay foundation. We'll prepare the minds of Ghanaians. They will bought a presidential jet. By a catcher one day, Ghana for baby ye drew na man my zeno. Yanya ready. Sabi you are planning water in cherry. We know aircraft be wait 30 years, 20 years will use just because of what we are proper maintenance. We are waiting for the technical report. No, the state of the aircraft. But as we speak, I mean that the last year no muna anything and say what pedo word to presidential jet. MP before pedo word.
No, who told you that?
Messi yet it say for
government out I don't know on yada over
on the same thing no see what bra what babem that want to cast go to the various ministries. Go to the various ministries. 1 year grand scheme the about to cast for just to win public sympathy. Win public sympathy. It's the one my bro you started there. Where we are cast up to now. You want to be a former appointee where we are watching that. Into what pedo what to cast no what did the grand scheme them go fair we are cast no obey the man. What pedo what to presidential judge for no one start to play them politics.
Government government the spokesperson of the government. Also government has no intention of buying new jets.
I am telling
now where is it?
Today
no,
is 2nd of October. 2nd of October.
4th to see you. NPP no by report na say journalist. And journalist for no story.
And journalist when you president
to story in the bay no. What can the government to see about new jet na. Government to see he has no intention to buy a new one.
And the 2nd of October 2018. Ghana for worry and pay one body to Messi MPP. One grand scheme prepare to buy a president. 6 months down the line. Obaka chenda man pay you for public.
Now 6 months down the lane. Let's say there. Since my financial strength is okay for me to go and buy a new one. What is wrong with that?
Sabanya na say sorry, so better presidential jet. Me menen my adwene. Sebe Ghana ha, Korea yetimi. Ye wa jet makunum 5 and a 2 kura say I hu hwe yankensene. But ye ni hu. Ade ha o man Ghana a maintenance culture. Ade friend maintenance culture e kum ye papa. Enti me na wo pa che say sa jet e hui. Ye ntwe sika bi anto a ye di maintain ana. Na say ye twe sika bi ato a ye di maintain na. But
strangely, the information minister designates the plane had just returned from maintenance.
Oh, fine. Say echo maintenance. They been potipa no mkoye eho. Maintenance ben mkoye. Why na wa soli a wa check say ade na ye no ye ni ye masucho man no. Won eto de bia say woni politicians ni ye bibia. Ono no ope ni bottom ope di obenya di won ba de ni ye de ye mfa no me kai say them the same jetty me kai say na President Mahama na oba National Farmers Day or something like that a delay no because develop the same fault into since then ye nsu bibia wo ho ye bibia ye be hu say ade no say yanhwe ni ye de haw e de be ba na won haw Ghana yentimi maintain ya de hwe yen flight ya we Ghana we see we and the Udu airport aye wo mu fufuo ye de trouble yes me kwa did you order ye de trouble intade e fe maintenance culture me nua e prayen
ebe prenden ka be no ntofo
say ye tofofra ensene Ghana say ya ye be yi scan ya tofofra ensene after nyama ya to nyama ye wo krum bi ni won
from Pon and coffee said there. What about yes, about but let's ask ourselves, what got to play no how many years in it? And this phone home competition don't play no. In 2010. In 2010, no year Ben President Mahama of you heard more baba I didn't delay no. Meaning somebody didn't do his work well. I didn't check plane. How many years? Not plane. Yes, and a grace period. I did plane again. I didn't chance there or break it down Siciano. Nka all your due diligence. Nanka oko top plane papa the buyer. And this time we wouldn't be facing the same problem.
Would it be there now that don't know what they
don't know what to plane Frank or the
even when you buy a brand new car. It depends on how you maintain it. But if you number of a contra President Mers when baby come, not President Mahama when how many years? Now the compare a contra a Benny went to within this short period now. And the Kauma played no now and two. Yes, set committee. No one share one manager maintenance now. What Kayano? Sika will try what the man your phone and expert technical staff no work your phone and maintenance. No, me MP before the on channel will track about.
But this is a serious issue. Look, President and 6 other ministers of state.
This is a very serious matter we are discussing about. Nkakabal na kebekede obi twakabala obi okoto play no be ya woto bodan for be no no twakabala
8 years
because nka
yes no twice
are you telling me
I had to engage in emergency
I'm siding with my brother say the rate we use aircraft now. President Mahama the time, not President Mercy the time. Now there was time for servicing. Since you are Messi plan no kwa service report. Now Rebecca Akufo-Addo, wa Alfredo Hian wa.
This is below the
Eto de bia mentiase ekwan ye fa so Ghana. Je use ye japade ye de. What you say? Mentiase ekwan Ghana ye fa so ye use ye japade. Ye wo flight ahodo bebre wo ha. Ye wo minim cry wo domestic flight ahodo bi wo ha. Day in day out woman na medan sure ni. So what you say? Na our maintenance ben ya no wo ye. Na ne ye o man ni dia fa Ghana ban ene ni mpanumfo ko no. Maintenance ben ya na ya wo mo ye. Me mpese mi hu. Said and mpese mi hu. Ene sika ni ye de maintenance na sika na nso. Se sika na ye de ya na nso a won fa meto dwa na de o se ye ne yenye because we omanpani eka ministers makuma kunsia ho no makodi adencheche wo wiema ai 1 hour ansana wo brebre mebesi fom na sa 20 mi na esi ya entinka ye de fine
serious issue we are discussing
serious issue
no bebia wo fa to efa no say maintenance culture en hono we don't have to even get there. Plane ankasa wo moto en nka V8 no okoto fofura V8 nka obaka chem say V8 no within 8 years down the lane V8 no you have to throw it away or you want to tell me there V8 na okoto no they won't give you a grace period for you to understand there that mean period no V8 no e one good standard so if you are going no mama
based off lack of small maintenance within 6 months can break down.
I'm talking of a grace period that the company will give you because at this plane we are talking about which costs more than the V8 until say you have to be very careful and they'll give you a grace period there the man you know this is how it's going to be so if you're not performing well you can take it back.
At 8 years, you're sure that whatever warranty is
it started disturbing the former president.
As early as 2014.
I didn't say as early as power.
Even 1 year.
So 2010. I didn't 2010. Not 2014. I didn't 2015. I didn't say as the Ola Hawa. How many years down the list? It means we are one to the pan from Brian. That's what I'm looking at.
On the papa and Kawashia President Mahama, Washia President Mus, Washia President Akufo-Addo. No minister support.
But here is the case, sir. Emergency landing, mid-air crisis, and all.
Maintenance culture. And let's not forget that it's a machine. You can even do the maintenance, and the machine can break down at any for an ungiven time. We use it on the path, and you bring it will break down. But what we are saying there, the needed technical people. Answer the plan in the starting. What proper runs the way? This is the whole Ghana president with 6 ministers of state involved. We need to get.
Didn't the minister tell you that they were just from the mechanical edition office?
So how come that just few minutes after whatever?
No, it means that the machine is of now. Expiring goods has no limit.
Minya, actually, be a me wa how. Me how kakra me when say. Before I ever to flight, nanga say diabano. Sabi nya sorry ya ne akwa akofa ba ye wo animdifo wa wo mbedi ka akwa examine kwa hwe machine say eye na ye nto na beboa nti wanum na ekwa examine sa machine sankof no should bring them on board nye musa so omkwa na flight na ni dendrim tesen na ho ode tesen what you say eno mma approval ene ekotoye because ye ntumi nto ade $37 million ewo 2010 na and development for 2015.
I'm sure you've enjoyed today's edition of the Daily Rant with me, Eric Yewaje from Takrady. You can join in this conversation by going onto our various social media platforms and sharing your thoughts about the state of the presidential jet. This has been your Daily Rant. My name is Eric Yeweje.
And just before we take a look at the newspapers this morning, now there are two great leaders of two great countries. I'm talking about Ghana and China. And so if you talk about Mao Zedong of China and Osagyefo Dr. Nkrumah, these are leaders who have shown what it takes to lead a country to success. Now, monuments of these two leaders have been erected in their various countries to preserve their legacies. Now, Spencer Kwabena Mensah Boateng has been looking at these monuments in the two countries, Ghana and China. Take a look.
August 1 is the Army Day in China. The public holiday celebrates the formation of the People's Liberation Army by the Communist Party. It was on this day that Mao Zedong, the leader of the Communist Party of China, CPC, who defeated the nationalist government and proclaimed the People's Republic of China, is honored. At the Zedong Mao Museum, the birthplace and where the first president of the People's Republic of China spent his childhood, tourists from home and abroad troop in on August 1. Chairman Mao lived between December 1893 and September 1976, but his memories still live on at his hometown. The sale of Chairman Mao souvenirs booms on the Army Day.
Business is better today. Many foreign visitors will come there. Today is also a special day, Army Day.
Chairman Mao and Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah founded and fostered the current relationship between China and Ghana. The friendship continues to gain momentum decades after their demise. Yang Yiming is a retired professor from Hunan City University. He resided in Ghana in the early 80s.
The Chinese Communist Party in 1949 took the power. And Ghana was made independence in 1957.
Yes.
So when Nkrumah and Mao Zedong know everything must rely on people. So Nkrumah supported this viewpoint. So Nkrumah stood up against the British colonialism. He made independence in 1957.
Yes.
So a few years. So these two big men were the same friends. Were the friends, and they all anti-imperialism and all reactionarism, colonialism.
Another area receiving attention is the hometown of Chairman Mao. But how is the birthplace and original burial place of his friend Dr. Nkrumah faring? At the Nkrofo station in Takrady in the western region of Ghana, I waited for an hour before 5 other passengers joined the 7-seater Opel vehicle taking us to the place. It's less than a 10-minute drive from Isiama in the Elembele district to Nkrofo, but the road is in a bad state. Drivers in the area are not happy. From a distance, the flag of the Republic of Ghana flies high on the Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, the birthplace and the original burial place of Dr. Nkrumah. September 21 is Founders Day, a public holiday to mark the birthday of the first president and founding father of Ghana. Management of the site tells me as at 2 p.m., only some members of the CPP had visited the place on September 21, explaining that patronage is generally poor.
We are almost in the last quarter of 2018, and our assessment, we have had only less than 100 visitors, and that is very sad because of the road.
It costs just 5 Ghana cedi for Ghanaians and 10 Ghana cedi for foreigners to access the site, but only 250 tourists have visited the place so far in 2018, with more than 150 of them negotiating and paying lesser than the fee. Added to this are challenges with interference by authorities and trespassing.
Animals jump into the facility anyhow, and people also come here anyhow. So we're able to raise $1 million to raise the walls and to drain the water.
How did you raise the money?
Yeah, we raise it because we seek for funds, yeah, from US and Nkrumahisms. And anytime we try to do something here, there will be a lot of a lot of interference.
From where?
From either the community or from the government, and they will be coming. And
from government, for example.
For example, the district now. Now the money is still there. We haven't used the money. We want to use it, but right now the DC has said they want to take back the management from HY Realty Company.
This river was revered because Nkrumah is alleged to have told the mother who was crossing while he was trapped at her back at the age of 2 that she had stepped on a fish. The mother, Mame Nyameba, is alleged to have picked the fish up and fried it for him to become great. Galamsey activities have, however, rendered it muddy, losing its attraction. But the youth here have not given up celebrating their hero's birthday. All is set for a music which will carry late into the night. Food vendors hope to cash in on the occasion, else September 21 shall be an ordinary day as far as business at Nkrofo is concerned. Dr. Nkrumah gained independence for Ghana 8 years after Chairman Mao did for China, but the stories from these founding fathers' hometowns are relatively different. Spencer Kobna Mensah, TVC News, Nkrofo, Ghana.
All right, so you saw Nkrumah and Mao Zedong there. Now, let's take a look at the newspapers already in Daily Graphic, Daily Guide, the Ghanaian Times, the Finder Sports, and the Business and Financial Times. The Finder proper is unable to publish today. Technical reasons, that's what we're told. Now, we have strong local banks. Ishmael Yamson is on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Government maintains producer price of cocoa from the price last year. The Daily Guide, Kojo Bonsu dumps Mahama, joins NDC race. Photograph of Mr. Kojo Bonsu, former President Mahama, and Prosper Bani all on the front page of the Guide. And the BNFT, UT Capital Bank collapse, 5 dockets sent to the AG's office. That's a big one on the Business and Financial Times. My guest this morning, a member of the NDC's team, Mr. Abraham Amaliba, is here. Good morning.
Good morning, right.
And hope you're doing great.
I'm very well.
Let's start with this story. The Daily Guide story says that former Chief Executive Officer of Kumasi Metro Assembly has ditched the camp of former President Mahama in a dramatic turn of events as he put himself up for election to lead the NDC. He's always been pushing for the former president's second coming to lead the position NDC, but has now decided to contest him for the same position for the 2020 elections. The former KMA boss, who's not new to controversy, sent his notification of intent to vie for the position to the General Secretary in Accra yesterday. The paper goes on to talk about him as the one who organized the unity walks throughout the country, and is asking questions why he is sending round to enter the race to contest his boss. Mr. Amaliba, you're here. Now, is this a suggestion, the suggestion that Mr. Mohammed's appointees are turning round to contest him. How worrying is this?
Well, let me start by saying good morning to your viewers. Don't forget that this is not yet the picking of forms. What you are seeing now is declaration of intentions.
Right.
Now, between now and the time that they will be required to pick their forms, it's possible some of these persons will not pick forms. So for the declaration of intentions, I have no problem with. I don't also have a problem with more people joining the race. If you look at the middle name of our party, it says Democratic, National Democratic Congress. And so it is open to all bona fide members to want to aspire to become, to lead a party. Now, what most of our people in the party are apprehensive about is the numbers. They do not want a situation where the numbers will rise up to the 17 that we once saw in the MPP. And so most people are apprehensive of that. But come to think of it, former President Mahama himself was an appointee of somebody. And so I do not think that today, and I'm not answering your question directly, right. I do not think that former President Mahama will be worried that his appointees are contesting him. He's somebody who knows the game of politics. He is somebody who has been in the thick of politics from the grassroots. And I'm talking about being an assemblyman throughout to become vice president and president. So he will not be worried that people are contesting, and he's also contesting. But with Kojo Bonsu, it's a bit trickish in the sense that this is somebody whom we all knew was in the Mahama camp. And this is somebody we all knew organized the Unity Walks, which the former president featured prominently. So for him to turn around to want to pick or to want to vie or contest with former President Mahama to lead the party can be a talking point. And rightfully so, it is a talking point. Now, I have heard rumors that suggest that Kojo Bonsu was peeved because when the campaign team came up, his name was not found in there. And if you notice the closeness of time in terms of his announcement, you realize that immediately the lists of campaign team members were put out, a day or two, he also did what he did.
Made his intention known.
Made his intention known. Now, if that is true, I have a little challenge with that type of thinking from Kojo Bonsu. That you never thought of running, that you had no idea of running, but because you could not find your name in a campaign list, you decided to join the race. Now, people will be questioning whether you have thought through what are your ambitions, what are your plans for this country. Are you the right person? Are you ripe for the position? And so these are some of the things that people will be questioning him about.
Let me ask you what, if you read the story, the Daily Guide is
Look, it is early days yet. What I know the Mahama camp is doing now is focusing on get Mahama elected. First, I am in the party, I'm in the thick of affairs. I know and I hear, I'm close to people who are close to the camp. For now, the focus is on get Mahama elected. The discussions on who to be the running mate has not even started. And I just indicated to you that we have not even picked forms. The party has not opened the opportunity for people to pick forms yet. And so nobody will be discussing running mate issues now. It is too early in the day. Yes, it will come, but not now.
So no meeting has taken place?
Meetings have taken place, but the meetings that have taken place are geared towards getting Mahama elected and not discussing running mate issues. I think that, and there are some people who are also saying that Kojo Bonsu's intention to run is also a decoy coming from the Mahama camp. So there are some who are saying that it's the Mahama camp that is pushing him to take some votes from some people. So it cannot be true, reading from the Daily Guide, that it was because of disagreements of who becomes running mate. You can't be talking about running mates now. It's too early in the day. And I think that I would want to side with the earlier suggestion that it was because his name was not found in the campaign list. But I say that this campaign list is just for the primaries. Because I know that if our delegates repose their confidence in President John Mahama, there will now be a larger, bigger campaign team that will fight the 2020 elections. And his name could have come after.
Is these happenings, how does it impact on the party's drive to bring the masses together in the strides at getting back into power in 2020?
You see, all these things happening at a higher level does not affect the grassroots. The grassroots the grassroots are united in their resolve to bring back the NDC. Let me give you an example. In the MPP, they were cutlassing themselves, throwing acids at each other. But their grassroots remain resolute. What you are seeing is just people jostling for power. And after the elections are held, the presidential elections are held, I mean
the flag
bearership elections are held, we will all come back and be behind just one person. And so wherever, and in fact, let me use you as an example. If this is your seat, we are told it's going to be vacant tomorrow, you see the number of people who are jostling. Your cameraman will also be jostling for it. So it is a natural consequence in every democratic society.
They were sitting on my seat this morning.
Exactly, they were even sitting on it, you see. So it's a natural consequence of a democratic process. If you open the opportunity for people to contest, people will do that. And so I am only waiting for the elections, and that would bring an end to all this jostling, and then we'll all coalesce around one person.
Okay, let's move on. Daily Graphic, Ghanaian Times this morning talks about maintaining producer price of cocoa. Cocoa Board has maintained the producer price of cocoa 7,600 per ton for 2018-2019. That's 475 cedis per a 64-kilogram bag. if you're getting confused with the numbers, the 64 kilogram bag is a regular bag that what we call the one bag of cocoa. Those of you who know, that's 475. The 7,600 is a bigger bag. That's a ton of cocoa, 7,600. Mr. Malba, so let's jump into government reasons. Government says that the international market price isn't too exciting. It's dropped from 2,800 to the current 1,700. Even though yesterday I heard a ranking member on Parliament's cocoa affairs suggesting that the 1,700 cedis per ton price put up out there isn't correct. He mentioned something more than 2,000. But government says that on the international market, the prices are down. So in order not to shortchange farmers and to help them, decided to maintain the price two years. That's how we have done, maintaining the same price.
And this 2 years started last year. I have heard cocoa farmers complain about the producer price. And I think that we need to hear them on this matter, whether by maintaining it is the way to go, or whether they expect any increases in the prices. But I also know that our cocoa is one of the best in the world. And so Ghana's cocoa attract a much higher price than cocoa coming from other countries. And so, be that as it may, even if the price in the international market is low, because we have a premium cocoa, our prices will not just be like the ordinary cocoa that you find in the international market. Why won't our cocoa farmers benefit and enjoy that facility or that premium price that has been provided for by the international community because of the nature of our cocoa? And so I'm waiting to hear what the cocoa farmers will say on this matter, and then I will then take it from there.
If you read a story, the farmers are suggesting, for instance, that I'm trying to pick. They're suggesting that the price was inadequate considering the prevailing economic conditions in the country. That's
exactly.
What
so, apart from the fact that our cocoa in the international market attracts a little higher than what happens to other cocoa from other countries, their concern will also be the economic challenges that we are facing. And so I think that rather than gloating, the government saying that they have done well by maintaining the price, I think that it's a tough one. The farmers would have been expecting that something is added to it because of the economic challenges that we are facing.
I'm grateful. Let me introduce my second guest, Member of Parliament for the Ifutu constituency and the member of the NPP, Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin is here. Good morning.
Morning, Bright.
Hope you're doing great.
By His grace.
Thanks for joining us. And yesterday the news was that government decided to maintain the producer price of cocoa for the 2018-2019 season. Government says that on international market, the prices aren't too exciting. From 2,800, the current price is now 1,700 per ton. And so, in order not to, for farmers to lose what perhaps they earned last year, government says, I am maintaining the prices. The farmers are suggesting the conditions are tough, so we're not too happy.
Well, first of all, let me say that from 3,000 Ghanaian cedis all the way through to 2,800, 2,600, and now 1,800. Very, 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 very huge. Some other governments would accordingly reduce the producer price. But this government has maintained that the producer price, at the time it was selling at 3,000, and all for the benefit of the farmer. Well, I don't know where my colleague gets his facts from.
Can you give me a minute? Let's clear this figure. Yesterday, the minister said that cocoa was selling at 1,700. So the per ton on the international market. The Times has 1,700. Now, if you go to the Daily Graphic says the current price is 2,100 per ton per dollar.
It fluctuates sometimes in a particular month. It may go up.
Yesterday, I also heard the ranking member on your house's committee suggesting that it's around 2,200. Do you know exactly the?
Well, I would want to rely on the position of the minister.
Okay, 1,700.
Right? Yes, I would want to rely on that one. But the point is that I don't know how my colleague came by Ghana cocoa selling on the premium price.
So our beans is one of premium, is quality.
No, well, I'm talking about the price, because his suggestion is that among other producing countries, we are paid higher. I don't want to say
because of our premium, the premium nature of our cocoa.
Yes, it is,
yes.
But
yes.
I do not think that is the case. Okay. But I do not think that is the case. I do not think that is the case. So you may have to verify that information. Yes, our cocoa is a premium cocoa. I would say that buyers may want to get more from other countries, and the little they get from Ghana may be considered as a sweetener. But on the issue of we selling at a higher price per ton, I really doubt that position you took. Right. It is a fact that economies all over the world are facing challenges. It is also a fact that in this country today, the government, having assumed office and having acknowledged the challenge ahead of it, took 3 major steps to address the worrying situation. One is to look at investing. One was to invest in the education sector, which has brought savings to parents. So if on the average, a parent was to spend, say, 2,000 Ghana cedis a term, or say 1,000 Ghana cedis a term, the government, by the implementation of the free SHS policy, has taken that cost. This is real costs that has been taken by government, and nobody doubts that. 2, utility. We all know fuel, electricity, water. We don't pay much, but electricity, fuel, major. We were told in 2016 emphatically that, look, because of the economic challenges, the cost of producing electricity has become high. Therefore, the tariffs can't be reduced. We were told by the previous government. I'm not comparing. This is reality. This is what we were told. But today, this government has reduced industry consumption, the tariff on industry consumption, by 30%. The impact is there for industry. Household usage, tariff reduction, 17%. So yes, with the challenges we face, this is the intervention made by government by looking at the whole sector, the taxes involved, and other areas of ensuring that we get value for money, and has been able to do that. The third intervention is the solution given to the graduate unemployment. You know, in Kufuor's time, we had a chunk of those at the grassroots, those who are unable to make it to secondary school, roaming our streets. Hence the introduction of the Youth Employment Program. This time around, we know as a fact that a lot of our graduates, today nursing graduates, those who have been to our universities, polytechnics, don't have jobs. It is true. We are all facing that as a difficulty. The government sat down and introduced the NAPCO program. As we speak, the first batch who successfully went through interviews and all that, over 100,000 are benefiting from the NAPCO, which is better than the person sitting at home and not getting jobs at all and being desperate. So I'm trying to suggest that this 18-month-old government has not folded its arms, has taken a bold step to look at the major areas of concerns. And of course, it can't be perfect.
Okay, so that is why the farmers are complaining.
I've not said that is what the farmers are complaining.
No, I mean, because you said it can't be perfect.
I'm saying that the farmers who are complaining, the workers who are complaining, these are the interventions that at least have come around to help them survive. As the case would have been, they would have been in a worse situation if these interventions had not come in. Because the farmer will complain, the worker will complain. Who told you that you, Bryce, sitting here, you are okay with your salary? You are not okay with your salary. Because you have other expenditure lines. But you would have been worse off if your first child or your child was going to secondary school and you were to pay school fees. You know, August, September, October, these are critical months that pressure mount on everybody. If you talk to MPs, they will tell you that but for the free SHS, the pressure would have been extremely worrying. You know, you are not a politician, but I know that relatives around would have come to you and say, oh, can you help? My child is going to secondary. You know how the first year admission, they will be chasing you all over. It is better than yesterday. It is not perfect, but better than yesterday. Now, I'm not here talking about inflation having gone down. I'm not here talking about, you know, the one district, one factory, where a lot of efforts are being made. Industry would not, it's not like buy and sell, but industry would be setting up the system a year, 2, 3, then everything is done, people are employed, and it's all that. So I would also say that, look, this government is a promising government. This government has prospect. This government has a vision, and it is the first time ever that Ghanaians are opening our manifesto page by page and telling this government that, oh, you said this, have you done it, or are you doing it? And today, I can challenge our adversaries, particularly those in the NDC, to start opening our manifesto and ask questions. I'll be bold to give them answers. Now, Bright, let me land on one important matter. The financial sector. You and I know all the worrying stories, the banks and all that.
I thought we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay, I mean,
there's a huge story on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Dr. Yamson suggesting that local banks are so strong. If you give him time, we'll come to that issue.
Sure.
Quickly. Okay, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Right. Let's move on to page 12 of the Ghanaian Times this morning. A direct response from the Office of the Former President has come in. The NDC flag bearer hopeful John Mahama has explained how well he will run the free senior high school policy if he is elected president in the upcoming 2020 elections. The former president was ended his 4-day tour of the central region to gain the mandate of delegates as flag bearer, told party faithful in Cape Coast he would constitute a national stakeholders conference to develop strategies to make the program more effective. We'll come together and decide on the proper implementation of the free senior high school because the NDC has done it before, and pointed out that under the tenure of fellow flag bearer contender Dr. Spio Gabra as Minister of Education, a Rawlings-led administration, the government organized a national conference on education. It was at that conference a decision was taken to introduce the Ghana Education Trust as a means of financing education in Ghana. The former president goes on to say that if I get a mandate, I will organize a similar conference to culminate in production of strategies to ensure the free senior high school program is better run under my presidency than what the Kufuor-led administration is currently doing. Former president said in that statement, and this is in reaction to President Kufuor's statement when he was in the United States, that the former president talked about a review of the policy means a scrap of the free senior high school program. Mr. Malwa, let's come to you. Now, this is this what the former president meant when he spoke about a review of the policy?
You know, the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is truth averse. In other words, when you speak the truth, he becomes worried. He also lacks the temperament of a president. Why will I say this? When the former president Mahama made this statement in Cape Coast of reviewing the free SHS, I'm sure by then he was still in the US, and what he said was calling the NDC dreamers and use some invectives, some words to describe the NDC as dreamers. And I said, look, as a president, you don't attack your opponents in such a way as if to say that you are being partisan. This is a suggestion that the former president made, that when he is voted back into power, he would review the SHS policy. Is the former president, is the current president telling me and Ghanaians that ever since they came into power, they've not reviewed some policies of the old administration? And when has it become an offense or a crime to review policies? And so he's truth averse. A very intolerant person cannot take suggestions, cannot take criticisms. And that's the kind of president we have. Since when has the word review become synonymous with scrapping or collapse?
It doesn't mean scrapping. It could end up in scrapping the entire policy.
How could a review of a policy to make it look better? I promise to run free SHS effectively. Effectively, how can the word effectively now turn around to become scrapping? Why? Hasn't anybody in this country heard that the implementation of the free SHS has been fraught with challenges? You want to say nobody has heard that in this country? Is that not a mantra that the policy is okay, but the implementation is what is problematic? And haven't Ghanaians from varied backgrounds proffered some solutions and suggestions? And what is wrong if the former president wades into it and also says that I'll review to make it effective when I come to office?
The president said the last time the NDC reviewed the National Health Insurance program, it ended up badly.
Look, don't detract me. I'm still on this. The president made the point that the NDC is going to collapse or scrap the free SHS. And I asked the question, when in this country have we ever had a shift system for our senior high schools? It's all in this country. And this time, we've never had a shift system Now, we have a shift system at the SS level, senior high school level, and what they can do is to use a marketing terminology that is a double track. But it's a shift system. A shift system that was eliminated at the JSS level has now been introduced at the senior high school level. And if somebody says that I would ensure that it works effectively by reviewing it, why would you call that person a dreamer?
Let me ask you again, because the president said in the context that the last time the NDC reviewed the NHIS scheme, the party nearly collapsed the scheme. Based on that, the president said that a review by former President Mahama could mean a collapse of the scheme.
Do you know that it was the NDC that made the national health insurance a national one, that gave it a national character? If you listen to this, I don't want to use the word, but if you listen to these people who are deceptive in their utterances, wasn't it the NDC that before the NDC reviewed it, was it not regionally based? And that
it was a mutual health,
scheme, which was, localized, and that you could only benefit or utilize your card at where you registered. Wasn't it the NDC that made it possible for somebody who would come from Bolga and is sick and still has a card, can still go to Rich Hospital or 37 Military Hospital? And so, don't take hook, line, and sinker what the president says, because he has a penchant for misleading people, for misleading Ghanaians, and he himself has indicated that he's been misled. Who knows whether his health minister has not misled him into saying these things that he's saying.
Okay, wrap up.
And so for me, what is critical is how do we get the free SHS working and working well? It is only through a stakeholders meeting where every Ghanaian will contribute to it, and then we'll take the fine ideas and ensure that we do not run this free SHS that we are engaging. And I think that he should be ashamed that when we have scrapped the shift system in the senior high school, he's already introducing it in the senior high school, and he's not admitting that that is a failure. And I think that he should be aware that when the NDC comes, we'll review it and we'll make it work and it will be effective, unlike what is happening now.
I'm grateful. Honorable Afinyamarkin, the other argument is that, for instance, the double track system was not part of the regional plan of free senior high school. So already the policy has been reviewed. So a talk of review should not be in any way injurious to the policy.
Well, when we begin the debate this way, I think one get compelled to ask some few questions. The sincerity of the NDC, their own track record. Look, 92, 8 years, all the way 2000, 2009, 2016, another 8 years, 16 years. MPP had 8 years plus what we have now, a year, 7 months, so let's say some 6 years so far. But, Bright, for the records, our opponents, with all their long talk, cannot boast of a single social intervention program they have introduced and implemented successfully. They cannot. There's none. Kufuor brought the NHIS system. The Metro Mass came by the youth employment program. They were overwhelmed when issues about unemployment and they could do nothing about it. Now, when the strategy they've adopted again, when Ghanaians were praising the MPP government for introducing the health insurance, they quickly said, oh, even there was this pilot, the hospital somewhere in Kranza, it was some, well, they ran to town with it. Then they finally said, oh, they were going to introduce a one-time premium. If you come, you just pay once, you won't pay again. That was the NDC. Well, they had the opportunity. On record, when the NDC had 8 years again, the same social intervention programs that Kufuor had rolled out were the ones that they relied on for their governance. Not a single one was added. The one that they attempted was a SADA program, which we all applauded them for introducing, which failed, and it became a liability. Because for SADA, they boldly took a loan, 200 million at a compound interest for 3 years, and by 2015, they paid 299 million, meaning that they introduced a program, principal 200 million to take it off, for implementation. Within 3 years, government of Ghana, because those who gave us a loan, we gave them a post-dated check. That's the bond they issued. So when the coupon matured, they presented it at Bank of Ghana. Government of Ghana coughed 99 million. In addition to the 200 million we took, we asked a question. He knows. Was SADA successful? No. Were there issues? They acknowledged in their own internal inquiry. They acknowledged through a government official source that SADA program had failed. I am saying that today, the free SHS policy Nana Akufo-Addo spoke about in 2008, which policy they said we could not implement, and that resources of this country are so limited that it is not time for free SHS. We have, by the grace of God, implemented same. The utility tariffs they said we could not reduce, and that the cost of producing power was so high. Today, we have reduced it 17% for household consumption, 30% for industry. Today, I kept quiet for you. I kept quiet. Don't distract me. Don't distract me.
Please allow him.
Please. What is this? Yes, allow me.
Please go on. But let's get
today,
to the main
point. We are at the same point, right? Please, we are there. Don't let him confuse you. We are there.
No one's confusing me. We want to remain
we are
with
there.
The free cinema.
We are there.
The key issue is that it's a review.
Right. I will make the point. Okay. I will make the point. President Mahama never used the phrase, we will review.
What did he say?
Please.
Mr. Malba, please allow him.
You and I share the same respect. You and I have a position. I've allowed you to speak. Let me make my point. It is not for me to now put words in the mouth of President Mahama. Let this tape be played, and let the whole country hear what he said. This is a statement. Please. He didn't issue a statement.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
He didn't issue a statement when he came to Central Region. He spoke. And I'm saying that you claim you want to review. Tell Ghanaians the extent of failures and the specific redemption programs. You want to redeem it. You say we have introduced, we have failed. All right? We have failed. You are saying that the implementation hasn't been successful. You want to review. What specifically do you want to do? Tell us. Stop the innuendos, the insinuations. You've had the opportunity.
Okay.
You've had the opportunity.
So you agree he spoke about review?
I'm not agreeing. He's just issued a statement.
Let me
claiming that he wants to, what is he going to review?
Please relax.
No, relax. Don't use that. Don't create the impression as if I'm not. I'm jittery on this.
Okay.
It's a matter of fact.
Let me read
the
this.
The NDC must be sincere.
Let me
must
read,
be specific.
Let me
they
read,
don't have a position on free SHS. They don't.
Let me read this to you. This is a quote by the Times from the president. I am alarmed, this is in quotation marks, I am alarmed by this concept of review because anytime a political opponent try anything of that sort, it leaves the policy in question into coma. So the key thing here is that you said the former president did not use the word review, but President Akufo-Addo says the former president used the word review.
Don't misquote me. I'm saying that let's play his tape and listen specifically to what he said.
Okay.
Now, if we have couched, hold on. If by consensus, the position is that, in summary, what he said amounted to a review. Our position, per what President
Akufo-Addo said.
No.
The key thing we're looking at is review.
Right, I think you don't want.
I want you also to listen to me. The key question here is that the president is worried about a review by the NDC. The president's suggestion, and he cited the NHIS scheme and said that the last time the NDC attempted a review of the NHIS, it ended the policy in coma. So the issue is that reviewing the policy, is it the way we should go or not?
Okay, right.
Simple.
Right.
Except you want to say that the former president didn't use the word review.
Right. Let's stick to what is on the table. Review.
Right.
So the former president says, I am going to review.
And that's what the current president is worried about.
So he's going to review. Mr. Former President John Mahama, you had the opportunity to serve vice president. You had the opportunity to serve as president. You said implementation of free SHS was not possible at the time. Please.
No. Mr. Amalba, I'll come to you.
Abraham, Leonard.
Okay, please go on.
You said it is not possible. Today, it's become a possibility, a living reality. You say you want to review. Tell us specifically what you want to do now.
Okay, I'm grateful. Mr. Amalba, so that's the question. If reviewing, what is it that the former president wants to review about the free senior school policy?
This is a simple matter. You indicated that you have done free SHS. Where is your policy document? If you actually did proper planning, as we speak, there's no policy document on free SHS.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
As we speak, if you want to look at how the free SHS is to be implemented and how the headmasters are to implement it, you can't find any document. That's one. We'll deal with that. Two, this top Akpeteshi, what do they call it? Going to school for 4 months and coming back home for 4 months would stop. And the NDC has done it. You know, we eliminated the shift system at the senior high school level. You know, we did that. That is what we'll do. We will ensure that
Was there ever a shift system at the senior high school level?
JSS level.
At the JSS level.
Did you come to eliminate any shift system?
Yes, yes.
Level?
You are not aware.
Oh, please.
You are in Parliament of Okovanda. Ask him.
Please.
Now, the next thing is we'll deal with that one. We'll ensure that we don't go to school 4 months. Some people stay at home 4 months. We'll ensure that infrastructure is in place. Now, President Mahama.
Which infrastructure you put in place when you were in office?
Please
allow. You are doing what you are saying. You are accusing me with all the fingers.
Exactly, yes. Now that you know that you don't have to do that again.
Now we would ensure.
I'm just telling you that next time we will ensure. Mention my name plenty. Tell you that next time you shouldn't do that. You didn't question.
Please allow.
We would ensure that the infrastructure is in place.
So you are now at a rally. No, you are now at a rally. Is this a policy? You are now at a rally.
Because I'm hitting him hard.
You are hitting me. No, you are now at a rally.
Now we'll ensure. You asked for it.
You are now at a rally.
What are we doing?
You are now at a rally. You will ensure. You will ensure
I wanted us to talk about the financial sector. Why wouldn't you allow him to land?
Now, you pay CDB.
Honorable Afenyo Market, it's not your time to speak. Please. Honorable Afenyo Market, please. It's not your time to
President Mohammed's point was that let's get infrastructure in place before we roll out
We've heard this before. We've heard this before.
So it is wrong for him to say that President Mohammed said it cannot be done, as he sat here and said. And so for him to throw dust into the eyes of people and say, for President Mohammed said it cannot be done, that was not President
Mohammed's on the social intervention.
That's not President Mohammed's point. President Mohammed said that let's put in place infrastructure and then we roll out fully. And don't forget, we have started.
You are going to cancel the free SHS
Honorable Afenyo Market, please allow him. I'll come to you.
Review.
No, please. Honorable Afenyo Market, please allow him. I'll come to you.
So that is it. The point here is for our students to be in school and to learn effectively. On the social infrastructure, why? When a government provides water to a community, what is that? When a government goes to a community that used to cross crocodile-infested ponds to go to school and builds a secondary school there, what is that? You sit here and you say there's no social intervention policy or program the NDC has implemented. You've forgotten that these are also social intervention policies. But you, name me one regional hospital that you have built. You, MPP. Name me one secondary school you have built. You, MPP. You, MPP. Name me one university you have built. Don't go there.
Oh, but I remember President Kufuor did some, how did they call them? There were some senior high schools, model schools.
They are model schools.
I remember Edinaman senior high school. I remember Chifu
Yes.
I won't take away that. Those are senior high schools.
They are not senior high schools that you construct from the ground. These are already existing senior high schools. Then you go and adopt one senior high school and say a model school for the community in that area. But we are saying, see our e-blocks that you are finding difficult to commission some of them.
Okay.
We build schools from the scratch. Have you done that? And so don't be talking that way.
Okay, Honorable Afenyo, let's wrap up. He's mentioned that he said the NDC will make sure there's a policy document. He says the NDC will stop the double track. He says the NDC will provide infrastructure.
Okay, so let's start from the infrastructure.
Which we started already?
Quickly, because I don't have all the time. I have just a few seconds to wrap up.
The infrastructure argument would mean cancellation of free SHS.
Okay.
Again, because according to them,
I am wrapping up, so please don't interrupt.
You see the understanding.
Please go ahead.
We'll provide infrastructure means cancelling.
Please go ahead.
Because according to them, without infrastructure, free SHS cannot be implemented. So if today he has repeated the old story that infrastructure must be in place, meaning that they will put free SHS on ice.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, next point. He hasn't been to Winneba perhaps before, but the Winneba Trauma and Specialist Hospital.
Oh, I thought we were looking
No, he said that there hasn't been a hospital built, but please.
No, Honorable Afenyo Market, please. We're trying to. Honorable Afenyo Market. Honorable Afenyo Market. Let us deal with this and wrap up. We don't have time. Can we concentrate on the thing? Honorable, please.
That original is
No, please. I don't want to talk about the hospitals. No, I'm not interested right now. Let's talk about now the policy document, the double track. You have answered infrastructure. Please deal with the policy document and then the double track. He said that there's no one, so the NDC's review means they will provide one. So go ahead.
Don't be misled.
No, I am not being misled. I'm saying that he says that there's no policy document.
I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions that are not anchored on facts.
Is there a policy document?
Why have we implemented?
Is there a policy document?
Go to the ministry.
Okay. Now, he says the NDC will stop the double track.
what is he going to implement in its place?
Well, he said they will stop it.
Meaning, stopping double track means cancelling free SHS.
I am grateful.
You see
That's what all right. I am grateful, gentlemen, for your time this morning.
I don't know which school they attended.
Oh,
their understanding of English language is whacked. What understanding of English language? You scrap double track means scrap.
That is unfair. You are the two of you went to the Ghana Law School. So if he says
provide infrastructure, then he says it's scrapping.
Mr. Amaliba. Mr. Amaliba,
no.
The two of you attended the Ghana Law School.
I know, but the primary school level, I don't know.
I don't know if you're making which school. Were you in F2 or where? All right, let's wrap up the conversation. Alexander Afenyo-Markin, Honorable Member of Parliament for Ifutu constituency, a member of the NPP. Abraham Maliba is a member of the NDC team. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your morning. Anyway, I need to take some rest. Yeah. Stay with us. We'll have more right after this.
Welcome to TV3 Newday. I'm happy to announce that, well, KD Bakes, our friend from Sogakope, who was on TV3 earlier, has been awarded the Music Art of the Year at the Youth Event Awards 2018. We'll tell you more about that later when we have a conversation with him via Skype. But right now, let's turn our attention to Mr. Mario Wade. He's the third National Vice Chairman of the MPP. Chief, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing
great. What's happening with the MPP? A lot of shake-ups here and there. Did you see it coming?
Shake-up? What are you talking
well,
about?
People have been changed, positions have been swapped.
You're talking about appointments?
Exactly.
Well, we went for elections and new officers were added, old ones were maintained.
Okay.
And per our constitution, some are elected, some should be appointed.
Right.
So we sat down and appointed the officers as recommended by our constitution.
Okay.
We had deputy national officers, national organizers. We had deputy national youth organizers. We had deputy Nasara coordinators. We had communication officers, all appointed in the past, in our last sitting.
Okay.
So that is where we are now.
Interesting. Why was Mr. Duma Kubefi, for example, pushed out literally? People have been asking us to ask you.
He wasn't pushed out. He resigned.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he resigned even before the appointments came up.
Okay.
He himself had resigned. He felt he can use his energies in a different field better than where he was placed.
Right.
And it is right. You can't fight him. You can decide to leave or stay where you are today.
Right.
And it's all about...
So there's no acrimony, there's no form of friction, if you will?
With who?
I don't know, I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I don't see that.
Okay.
I don't see that. He is a nice gentleman, hardworking, outspoken. He will always speak his mind, and he believes in what is right.
Right.
And he will still, when he believes in something, he will fight for it.
Okay.
That's him, I know him. That's how he is.
What's your view of the government communication team from the party side? You have persons appearing on television, on radio, paper review segments. What's been your view of them over the past 1.5 years or so?
Well, we don't have a government communication team.
Okay.
We only have a party communication team.
Who speaks on behalf of government?
Well,
or trumpets things that government?
Well, they communicate what the party in government is doing.
Right. So is it what is it? Is it a government communication team or party communication?
Party communication team.
Okay.
And it's headed today by Yabuabia Samoa.
Right.
Yes, and
what do you think of it? Are they performing optimally?
Yes, I can say so.
Even though there are strong enough.
Well, there were a few hiccups somewhere, and I know Yabuabe will correct them.
For example, what hiccups are we talking about?
You see, we came to power. The powerful speakers of the party then were all appointed. Almost all of them got some positions and appointments.
Okay.
And balancing the two, the new jobs, the tax in there. and then appearing on radio and TV, like I am here. You sometimes have a big, you wake up early morning, your house is full, you go to your office, it's full, you have a big task to accomplish, and they don't find enough time to make it to the studios. And so we have been talking with them, and very soon most of them will find time for you guys and tell you what is happening in their various departments and agencies and ministries. Be assured, we are massing them up. We are helping them to come at least make time for and communicate with the people what is happening. You know, the government is doing a lot for Ghana. But unfortunately, we don't. I can say the party or the government doesn't like boasting.
Or it doesn't have good linguists to speak for them. Is that it?
You see, I don't know if you know that the One Village, One Dam is ongoing. You've heard it.
I have no idea.
That's it. But it's happening.
So it means that then it means that your communicators are not doing well.
Well, that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. That we are saying that people should tell the world what is happening in their various...
Are your current communicators half-baked? Those who represent you in media to trumpet what your party is doing?
They can always do best if they know exactly what is happening in the various MDAs.
Are you suggesting they have no information and yet they appear to be communicating?
Some things are... A lot of things are done, and it's done at the blind side of the communicators. And that's why I would say Adoma Kubafi left. That's one of the issues. He kept complaining that
things were done on his blind side.
Yes, he barely receives information from. I mean, he will hear that this thing is going. You go there, it's happening. You go, why didn't you tell us so we can tell? You've achieved this. You have done this, and then people will say, we have come to serve Ghana. Serve Ghana. Let the people know what is happening.
So
why we were voted into power and what we are achieving for the people. And we are correcting that. I'm saying that we are correcting that. They are now coming to them. They are understanding that yes, the good things that they are doing, the issues that are coming up, we are on course, we are in charge, and we are.
Whose job is it to make sure that, look, these communicators have information? Whose job is it?
It is a duty of everybody who has information to release to the communication department. Sometimes
but the
you need to, because of the pressures on some of them, they forget that, yes, we have achieved this, let's give it to. And then some people have also been appointed or nominated to serve as PROs in the various departments and agencies. And sometimes I question myself whether they really know what they are there to do.
Do you ask the questions? Do you ask these questions?
Oh, yes.
Of the appointing authorities like the president?
I am not. The president has appointed you. You have been you have been hired to be here. I don't think the person who hires you tells you the questions to ask, what to do.
But I was appointed because they know I'm qualified, because I'm competent. If you hire somebody there because the person has a very loud voice or the person is able to string words together and yet make no meaning, it will be to the detriment of the party, don't you think?
That is what I'm talking about, that we are still whipping them online. Let them come and tell the world what we are, the achievements we are making in the MDAs.
I'm curious to know, so how are these communicators selected? Do you pick them because, well, they are MPs, or they are loud voiced, or that people have a certain likeness? How do you select them?
I can tell you that there are people who, well, you are a journalist, right?
Yes, I am.
You went to school with some guys, and today you can't find them in any of the media houses. You understand?
That's,
but there are people,
their choice.
There are people who are trained, who are also not trained, but are doing extremely well in the media circles. You agree with me that way? So it is not every communicator who, for the party, who is trained as a communicator.
I'm asking to know, you're telling me whether they be trained. I'm asking, how are they selected? What process do they go through? For you communicate for your party. On what basis, for example, was Omare Wadie chosen to speak on behalf of the party?
Well, I can say sometimes you put yourself up, and if you are good to face the challenge, yeah, and you are identified, you qualify. You understand? There are people, and you know that there's people who can even do better than you do.
Okay.
But they stay at home and criticize. You know that thing. So we have the same situation in our system. There are people who can do better.
Okay.
Yet they refuse to come because waking up early, 6:30, 6:30 I started, and then you move from one station to the other, and you don't get paid.
Okay.
So the people are not willing to offer those sacrifices.
Are they not offering themselves because they think that some people are doing it and benefiting from it, and yet they will do it and do it for free, for nothing?
Who is benefiting from? You are talking for I belong to MPP because I love the party. I'm not in the party because of any individual.
But Omariwade, you agree with me that there are people who have been communicating for the party while in opposition, and since the government came into power, they have got positions, they have got appointments, and there are some who were still communicating and they've got zilch. So they would complain, don't you think?
It is their right. They can complain, all right, but you can't give.
Are their concerns legitimate?
Yes. Why not? If people think, oh, I should have taken that position. I should have been the deputy communication. I should have been the national youth organizer. People feel but the appointing authorities cannot appoint everybody.
How is that hurting the party? This situation of people feeling aggrieved and acrimonious. How is that hurting the party?
We are managing it.
How is that hurting the party?
We are managing it.
You have not told me how it's hurting, so I would appreciate how you are managing it.
That's what I'm telling you. We let them know that, yes, your concerns are heard, but we cannot put all of you up as deputy, say, organizers. Okay. No. The constitution says we should appoint two.
Is it making the party look bad in the eye of the public? No, because you're not able to trumpet your achievements. Is it making the party look bad?
No, even with the little that comes out.
Okay.
Everybody knows we are on course.
Okay.
With the little. But I personally believe that we can do more.
Okay.
Because some of the things I hear, some of the things I see, when I go out there, I ask myself, you are doing this good job.
Okay.
And you're not telling the people.
Yesterday it rained. The president says by the end of his 4-year tenure, Accra will be the cleanest city in Africa. Yesterday we saw the baller, plenty of them around. The government communicators suddenly this morning have been very silent and they've been monitoring. Why the silence? And by this I'm asking about promises made and some not kept.
You see,
I'm asking about that.
Nana Addo Dankwa, His Excellency, has made a promise that he will keep Accra clean. Yes, he will sweep. He will hire. We have hired people. We have employed people. We have recruited people to keep the city clean. But there's one thing that is lacking.
Okay.
The fact that the president says he will keep the city clean does not mean, and people are cleaning that you see.
Okay.
Does not mean you should keep dirtying the environment, dropping pieces all over. We must play our part as citizens. I don't want us to go the hard way, the selling for Mankwa days.
Okay.
Where people were beating up.
Will it help?
That will. Some people have recommended.
Will it help? Will you recommend it? No, you were around those days.
It was a bad thing.
Okay.
I have always argued that thing was a bad thing. Others too suggested that we needed that.
Okay.
But I think we can do it in a more civilized way.
Let's look at the promise of government. One district, one factory. At the height of stopping the Galamsey fire, the Galamsey menace, we said we're going to build districts, one district, one factory, to create corresponding employment for the people who will lose their jobs in the pits. We have not done that.
The factories are ongoing.
Where?
Where
are the factories? I have not seen them.
Yes, that's what I'm talking to you about.
Give me top 3. Where are the factories you have seen?
Oh, there's one coming up in with the one that was commissioned. Okay. I think you've seen the pictures.
The Kumfi factory.
The Kumfi is there.
Okay.
I can mention the Kumasi.
The Kumfi factory was not commissioned. The land was, a sword was cut.
Yeah, it was. But
what's the stage what's the stage of that Kumfi factory?
I think they have completed the structures.
Okay.
They've done. The aggrowers are also propped. And I cannot tell you exactly where they are now, but I've seen pictures of the structures up.
And you believe those pictures?
Oh, I saw it from day one. I saw the grading. I saw the mountain, and I've seen it being roofed.
Okay.
So I believe.
So Ekumfi is one. What else? Which
and then
one else?
Kumasi.
Okay.
There's another one. Another one has been commissioned. There are, I think 5 of them are ready now. 5 of them are almost ready now.
Okay.
Yes, and
are they ready
more,
or they're almost ready?
Almost ready now, and a lot more are coming up.
Okay.
You can't use a month, a year, just a year to complete a whole factory. Source for the fund. No, write your what do you call it? Proposals.
Okay.
Source the funding. Start planting the whatever, the raw materials, construct. You can't do that within 1.5 years.
Okay.
You can't do. You can't do that.
What do you make finally? The NDC is your arch rival in terms of Ghana's politics. You have the duopoly. Some elements within the NDC have been trumpeting the formation of vigilante groups because they say the police have failed them. What's your view on that one? Knowing full well that your party also in recent times have had vigilantes who have taken over courts and wherever it is.
I have cautioned, and I'll caution the NDC again.
Okay.
If you have if you get, how do I say it? There's a music about somebody buying a calf, jataba.
Okay.
And then the jata growing up and eating the person.
A cub, and then it comes to growing to a lion and eating them. Okay.
Yes. What they are doing, if they think is good.
Okay.
They did it. It happened before they came to power. Then, if you remember, and then when they came to power, their boys nearly messed them up. When
can we say same of the MPP?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. At least you should have learned from the past.
Okay.
It become very difficult to control some of them.
Okay.
But they feel, yes, they work for the bank, and the government is in power, and then they should be given a bigger portion of the cake to bite. And if you fail to give them, then they start branding you as whatever.
Are vigilante groups a necessary evil in Ghana's politics?
We can do more together.
How?
Sometimes we need to, I keep saying that if the police were up doing, if the police were apt in their to protect us, then nobody will even think of. Yes, people will almost always go for private security to ensure their safety and security. But the police can help do more.
Does the MPP regret having the vigilante
No, we
groups?
needed them and we still need them.
Do you regret having them, given the fact that they've caused you a lot of trouble, attacked the Tamale Teaching Hospital, went to a court, chased off the National Security Coordinator, went to Tema, openly said that, look, if you don't do this, we'll do that.
I'm saying we
Does the MPP regret?
We don't.
Is that an endorsement of vigilantism from Omari Wadie?
I am saying that for where we sit now, we need them.
You need vigilance.
Because I have my headquarters to protect. I cannot go and put police there.
Okay.
We are organizing programs. We need people to check, protect and prevent attacks from attacking us.
Okay.
And some of these things you cannot rely on the main security, the police and the military.
I'm in shock right now, Mr. Wadie, because the president appointed the IGP, current IGP, David Lasantepie, to give him a 2-year contract after he turned 60. He's in charge of security. The president had told him continuously to ensure that the laws work. And you are suggesting that you don't believe in the IGP. Is that the suggestion I'm getting? You don't believe in the security system?
I am saying that we cannot put police people in our headquarters all the time.
So you don't believe in the police?
No, even
but if you request for police protection, you will get it.
Why should we request for police protection when we have our boys to man our officers for us?
Are your boys trained?
Yeah, we train them.
They are trained?
Yes.
So they have arms and ammunition?
No, they are not trained to fire guns. They don't.
Okay.
Have you seen any of them fire guns before? It was
Are they as effective as our security agencies?
They do a lot for us.
Are they as effective as our security agents?
I can tell you they do a lot for us.
Like causing mayhem, causing trouble, beating people up?
In every community, in every society, we have the bad notes.
Okay.
And even in the police service, you have heard policemen robbing. Have you not heard that? You have heard military men doing things that they are not supposed to do.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
That is what I'm saying. You will still have some bad notes in there.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
That is not what they are recruited to do.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
That is what I am talking about.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong to have a personal security.
Right.
At least in Ghana, we have private security companies.
So why is there people not using private security and you're using your own?
That's our private security. Why should we go and pay somebody when we have our boys around who we know are very loyal and committed?
Are they paid to do the vigilante job?
Oh, they are not paid as pay.
Okay.
But when you bring them together, at least something like that to keep
body and soul together.
Exactly.
All right.
But so you can't call that a pay, a salary.
That's not pay. That's motivation for you.
Little motivation.
I thank you very much.
For their commitment.
Omariwa dear says little motivation for their commitment. He's the third national vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party. I told you about the Music Art of the Year award by KD Bakes. We'll tell you more about that. But right now, let's go to the rising star in journalism. That's what I like to call him. Ayanuri Philip Akila Sore. A month ago, he gave you a story about how the fall army worm was eating up his small farm. He's done another story, a follow-up. Take a look at this.
About a month ago, I lamented of an attack of army worms on this very farm. Today, I am happy to report on how this very farm was saved through a traditional control method. This is Azagerata indica, commonly known as neem tree. Pound the leaves and add water. Squeeze out the sap and sieve the solution. Add pepper, depending on the rate of infection. Spread directly on areas which is affected. And this is the result. This method is discovered from a thesis in progress in the Miller Institute of Transdisciplinary Studies, Bolgatanga. Ayanura Philip Akelasore, reporting from Bolgatanga. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment. Find not only problems, but look for their solutions.
Thank you very much. And let's say happy birthday to you, Felix Odoya Kwete of Nzima East Municipal Assembly. Happy birthday, belated one, of course, to you. And if you know where the youngster I showed you, the rising star, Ayanuri Philip Akila Sore, let's know, because I'm looking for him. I want to mentor him privately, and we're interested in his talent. So Ayanuri Philip Akila Sore, up there, if you know his number, let's just get it through us, and then we'll pick it up from there. But I told you about the Music Art of the Year award won by our own friend and brother, KD Bakes. Is joining us on Twitter. Hi, KD. KD, how are you on Skype this morning? Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny. I'm doing so great. How are you doing too?
Great, and we're happy for you. Congratulations to you. Tell me, what is this award about?
It's actually the Youth Event Award that is being generated. This is the maiden event, actually, and it's only to empower or to encourage the youth in the music industry and the art industry to do more, because they have come to realize that the development of this country or the progress solely depends mostly on the youth, because the youth are the ones who are playing the greater part of this development. Yeah.
So you were you in a category alone, or you were in the category with some people?
Yes, I was in a very competitive category with a very good artist such as Kwame Eugene Kidi, King Promise, Article 1, Kelvin Boy. And for me to be able to win this means that we actually put in a lot of work. It means a lot is really going on. It means the people really are supporting. It means my record label, Big Hairs Records, is doing much. And
okay.
My region are really supporting it. All over Ghana, they are
Right.
loving the music. I think the last time you interviewed me, you asked me, don't you think that the reason why you're not yet in the mainstream is because you're not doing a strong music enough? But now you can see that the people love my music.
Carrying Me Away is taking you places, certainly. Let's talk about what this award means for you and how it will challenge you to higher heights in the coming years. Tell me about that.
This award for me is a stepping stone because this year actually started with the first award I won with Carry Me Away was Standout Artist of the Moment.
Okay.
Where I topped up with 1,000+ votes, and then came YEA Awards, and now I'm on Ghana Music Awards South Africa, where I got 5 nominations, and the voting just ended, and the event is going to take place in November on the 3rd of November.
Right.
And I'm actually performing that night also.
Okay.
And so that is going to be the 3rd award, and I'm hoping to sweep all. And after that, when I come back to Ghana, I'm hoping that by the grace of God next year, I should be in the VGMAs. And any award they nominate us for, we know they negotiate them. We must win it.
I can imagine there's a lot of buzz around you in Sogakope, in the Volta region, and across the country. So for you, that's a widened audience base. What does that mean? What does that mean for your business in terms of the cash element that comes to you as a musician? What does that mean for you?
Well, for the cash element, it's not every award scheme that comes with cash. But usually most of the awards that come are for recognition purposes, to create more exposure. So for me, it means that I'm enlarging my tentacles. It means that, like I said earlier on, it only means that we are making enough progress. And so because to be awarded for something means that you're doing a good job. And so I am really grateful for that. Right.
Katie Biggs, I'll leave you here to go back and save more lives in the awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. And Katie Biggs is a medical practitioner. He's a nurse by training and profession, and also he's a musician, recently awarded the Music Art of the Year honor. Now, let's go back to our rising star, the man I so adore this morning, Ayanure Philip Akilasori. He brought us a story, and he used a community connect style of not just talking about the problems, identifying the problems, getting duty bearers to respond to it, or getting society to respond to it, and bringing the solution. And you can see the maize. I'm going to have some maize after this. But that's how the cookie crumbles today on the show. We'll see you later.
Attack of army worms on this very farm. Today, I am happy to report on how this very farm was saved through a traditional control method. This is Azadirachta indica, commonly known as neem tree. Pound the leaves and add water. Squeeze out the sap and sieve the solution. Add pepper, depending on the rate of infection. Spray directly on areas which is affected. And this is the result. This method is discovered from a thesis in progress in the Miller Institute of Transdisciplinary Studies, Bolgatanga. Ayanure Philip Akilasori, reporting from Bolgatanga. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
I certainly agree with him there. I think he's done very well today. I had the opportunity to share it, saying that kudos to him, innovative and creative mind. I mean, neem tree, as we're growing up, we knew it had a lot of properties,
for malaria,
but for him to be able
to use that for as pepper, and for him to have known that, look, a certain research was talking about inequalities. But hey, we're looking for Ayanure Philip Akilasori. If you know him, let's him get in touch with us. We're looking for him. He has the potential, he has the knack, he has the ability, and we can't let it go waste. Ayanure Philip Akila.
I like how he mentions his name.
Yes, it's a full name. We're proud of you, and let's get to hear from you. Have a good morning.
Cause trouble, it make man maya maya, it make man